Music isn't made by one person, it takes work and commitment from many people. Let's just say brilliant minds think alike. Say, if you win the Nobel Prize in Physics, you get a call from the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. That's quite a milestone, isn't it? That's what I heard, I guess. In December, while you're in Stockholm, the Swedish king presents you with a Nobel Prize medal in front of an elegant audience. After the fancy ceremony, the winners and VIPs head to a big room for a fancy dinner. You give a speech, and then boom, it's published. Well, let's face it, most of us aren't going to win the Nobel Prize. No matter who wins, we all feel good because, like I said earlier, it takes three people to make music: the composer, the performer, and the listener. In the end, it becomes enjoyable to everyone. Listen to this fascinating story. Alfred Nobel was actually the son of Emanuel and Caroline Nobel. Emanuel Nobel was a composed inventor and engineer. Check it out. His son Alfred was totally like him. Oh, and by the way, Alfred was also a pretty cool dude who did a bunch of stuff like engineering, inventing, chemistry, and running his own businesses. The same goes for the son, just like his dad. That guy had like 355 different patterns. He's the dude who made dynamite and all those other insane explosives. Plus, he's the one who kicked off the whole Nobel Prize deal. Yeah, UD. Think that, huh? Wait, what's the deal with the guy who made dynamite and all that being linked to Nobel Prizes? Oh, that's a pretty cool story, but wait a minute, let's not do that just yet. Alfred Nobel was from a big family with 10 members, including 7 siblings, just like most families in the 1800s. Oh, maybe that's why Alfred was so into inventing dynamite. His folks were into it too. He was a cool guy. He's so cool, they even named an element after him in the periodic table. That's awesome. They named an element after him. That one's nobelium. You can find it in the bottom right corner of the table. Alfred was super into making explosives and stuff when he was a kid. He was really smart and ended up being a total boss at chemistry. He even picked up 4 languages: English, French, German, and Russian. Young Nobel finished college in the US and then headed to Paris in 1850, where he met this Italian chemist. Hey, listen up. So, Ascanio Sobrero, the chemist, was the original scientist who came up with the alleged bomb. Back in the day, all they had to work with in mines was black powder, which was basically just like gunpowder. Hey, this Italian chemist has been around for a minute, but eventually folks caught wind of this crazy explosive stuff called nitroglycerin. This substance was significantly more potent than black powder, but it was extremely dangerous and difficult to handle. Even Ascanio Sobrero was like, hey, don't use that stuff. He was actually kind of scared of what he made and kept it on the down low for a bit. So, over a year ago, Alfred Nobel got into this new explosive stuff. He was totally into making nitroglycerin a safe and useful explosive for businesses. So this guy was trying to transfer some nitroglycerin from one bottle to another. If that thing exploded, it would have messed up his factory really badly. But he dropped the vial and was like, oh no, I am done for. He was waiting to hear the boom, but it never went off. He looked down and saw the vial he had dropped in a box of sawdust. This accident actually helped Alfred Nobel figure out how to make nitroglycerin way safer and more useful than any other explosives around back then. He was like, that's dynamite. Hey, did you know that dynamite comes from the Greek word dyna, which means power? Pretty cool, huh? He made stuff like dynamite and ballast, which were used in a pretty rough way back in the day. So back in the day, the ballast diet was used in war, and Irish nationalist groups were blowing stuff up with dynamite in the 1880s. Unfortunately, those inventions caused a lot of casualties. So get this, when Ludwig Nobel, who was Alfred Nobel's brother, passed away in 1888, the French newspapers totally thought it was Alfred Nobel who had kicked the bucket. Can you believe it? So the papers printed the obituary with the headline, "The dude who made death is gone." Hey, did you hear? The guy who made a ton of money inventing new ways to kill people passed away yesterday. He saw his legacy while he was still kicking, and it totally broke his heart, but he's not giving up yet. He's going to change his story before it's too late. He pondered for a bit about what to do, and then on November 27, 1895, he finally went for it. So he went to this cool club in Paris called the Swedish Norwegian Club, found a desk to sit at, and wrote his final will and testament. And get this, that same desk is still there today. He figured out what he wanted to give to his family and his crew. Alfred wanted 31.5 million kroner invested in a fund and the interest split into 5 parts. So every year they gave out these awards to 4 people who made huge discoveries in physics, chemistry, literature, and medicine. Oh, and there was this other award for someone who really helped bring peace between countries. There are some really smart people who think that the Nobel Peace Prize was basically Nobel's way of saying sorry for inventing stuff that can blow things up. The people who were missed the most weren't necessarily the ones with the most money or fancy things. They were the ones who made life better for others and knew they had to help out their fellow humans. Even if they couldn't donate cash, they still gave their time to cool causes. Alfred Nobel was super generous. He gave away almost all his money for a really good cause. The cool thing is that whatever good we do in life will stick around even after we're gone. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take a second to hit the like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to our channel.